Hi everybody, it's Chelsea, and this is the week of February 9th through 15th in my 2025 Project Life album. So this week I am using mainly this paper pad from Michaels that is called Sweet on You. It was a Valentine's Day one for this year. I'm also using this ephemera from Valint, the Sketchbook collection, and then a few other little things here and there. But I'll get to those as they come up. So the first thing that I did was I cut a heart just freehand out of a glitter paper from that paper pad to cover up the negative space in that one picture of me down at the bottom there. So this was a photo of me on Valentine's Day in my new sweatshirt that I got for this year, my festive attire. So I'm just sort of building a little embellishment cluster here. This photo, I actually didn't grab a photo of myself. It's a screenshot of a video that I was able to pause at just the right moment that it looked like a posed photo, but I was left with a lot of space on the left side there. So, in effort to cover that up, I'm just sort of building this cluster up there. So the next thing I'm gonna add on is a plastic little banner. That's from Ali Edwards, and that was in the stories by the month for for February. And I thought it really worked, like just the shape of that banner. I was really happy with kind of how that laid on there. So I used my tiny attacher to staple that on because they are plastic, so I didn't want to use any adhesive on it. And I journaled on it using a like fine point Sharpie. That was the only thing that I could think would write onto these little plastic banners. I love them and I think they're so cute, and I like the different texture of like kind of like a non-paper embellishment, but that's the only downside, is that they're a little hard to journal on because even the Sharpie, it didn't love the Sharpie, but it worked well enough and it stayed on there. So the next thing I'm doing here is I have this losing lottery ticket from this week. So I'm just trimming that down a little bit, taking off those neon orange edges, and I'm just gonna end up mounting that onto that little piece of paper that says XOXO on it. I really wanted to like lean into the Valentine's theme for this week just because it's that time. So it's a great time to, cut into that paper pad a little bit. So yeah, I'm just sticking that down with some double-sided tape, just centering it on there, because this is printed like essentially on receipt paper. So it would have been kind of thin to just put in the pocket by itself without a backing of any kind. So that's kind of what made me choose to do that. So I again am just kind of lining that up where I want it, using my tiny attacher to attach it to my card. And then I'm going to do my journaling. I mean, it's hardly even journaling. It just says no millions were won with my Sharpie marker. You'll see in some of my other spots, I have actually a couple pieces of ephemera this week. That purple one right next to this card I'm working on is from a box of chocolate, which I have the photo of right next to it. And then up at the top left is from a box of orzo pasta. I don't think I'm going to end up touching those if I remember correctly, so I just want to mention that quickly. I'm doing a similar thing here to this photo of some nail art that I did for Valentine's Day. Just sort of trimming down a little bit and mounting it onto this glitter paper. I felt like it had like weird framing kind of, so I used this opportunity to cut a little bit off the extra off the bottom and kind of help it look a little lifted up, I guess. So that's that for now. I'm jumping to the other side and just sticking down this big piece, this big embellishment that just says The Good Life. I thought that was a good kind of filler. So this is actually the only real like filler that I have this week, which is kind of exciting. Had a lot to show. So yeah, just kind of putting that together quickly. And I do decide to trace around the like outside of that piece that says The Good Life with a like dark red pen. It just sort of felt like it needed like the tiniest bit of extra definition on it. So that's what I chose to do. I don't know how much of a difference it really made, but you know, it's okay. But when I am tracing over that outside edge, I am not tracing over the part where it overlaps with that purple flower piece that I attached at the top there. I'll just also mention that you may see that I attached that purple flower with my tiny attacher. I wanted to bring the stapling element in a few different places. That's why I did that. So this card here, this picture of the chocolates, I didn't realize when I took the picture that one of them was upside down. So I'm wanting to stick my embellishments over that, you know, pretend like it never even happened. So I'm just sticking my little, is this a carnation maybe? It's a cute little flower that I'm sticking over it. And again, another one of those plastic banners from Elle Edwards. Just kind of, you know, coming out of the flower. Using my tiny attacher to stick that down, and I'm just writing yum on there. There's not really that much to say except that they were delicious chocolates. But it was more for a visual kind of my own visual enjoyment that I wanted to put that embellishment and the banner, and again to cover up the accidental upside down piece of chocolate. So then once that's all stuck down, just trimming the excess that's hanging over the edge. And then I am going to audition, I guess, one of those plastic banners on the photo of my nails. It takes me a little bit of going back and forth to decide what I do with that one. So we're jumping back over to the other side of the spread. And this card is from Elle's studio. It's an older one. And I have this little picture of me curling my hair. So I guess one thing that I just want to kind of mention is that for me personally, a lot of the photos of myself that I end up putting into my albums are photos that I'm taking. So like they're self-portraits, whether that's with the self-timer or it's a literal selfie or whatever it is. I started really doing that when I did Week in the Life last year. Just trying to get more pictures of myself kind of in there. And I would just really recommend trying that. Because I think it's really easy as like the documenters to forget to put your face, like, you know, your own face in your albums. So that's my little spiel about that. But I'm working on my title card here for this week. That February label was an Elle Studio sticker. I did stick it on to that cool like acetate kind of thing that was in that paper pad I showed at the beginning from Michaels. I love Conversation Heart Pattern. I think it's so cute. So I definitely knew I wanted to use that. But I'm stamping the dates onto that little February label using a set from Elle's studio, and it had a tiny heart stamp in there, which you see me using to break up the date. But then I end up actually just kind of stamping a few of those around on different photos and cards that I have on this spread, especially since I'm kind of leaning into the Valentine's thing for this week. I thought that worked out really well. If you were curious, the ink pad that I'm using is a archival ink pad, like a distress archival. I believe it was Picked Raspberry is what it was called. So now I'm just adhering that acetate onto just like a 4x6 piece of white cardstock because I don't want the transparency element. I just want the pattern. So now I'm using these word phrase stickers. These are from Elle Edwards, and they're a past stories by the month sticker. I believe they were from an April kit at some point because there's a lot of, I mean, I almost know they were because they have a lot of April things that say like, you know, April moment or whatever it was. But it had a lot of good sentiments, and I really liked the color. So I'm digging into those, sprinkling things around. On the photo of me doing my hair, it says in the morning. On that icy tree branch, I have one that says beauty. I'm putting one day at a time onto that journaling card, where I'm gonna tell another story later. And I have a picture of my nails. I have one held aside there that says like making time for me or taking care of me looks like. And I know I want to use that sentiment, but I haven't quite figured out how I'm laying it out. So I'm just saving it there next to it. And I'll come back to that in a few minutes. But I am now using a Tim Holtz tiny word phrase sticker set. There are a few. He makes a few of these like sticker book with the phrases or words or whatever. I think I pulled some from, I think it's called Chit Chat, and then there's like Small Talk. So those are ones to look out for. I really like those books. But yeah, so I added the one that says love yourself first to that photo of me with the big embellishment cluster. And then this photo of the tree branches. I'm trying to like kind of rearrange some of the stuff I already stuck down to just have it say beauty everywhere. And then I will go back to that Allie Edwards sheet. At this point, I'm just kind of going back and forth between the 2 or 3 like sheets of phrase stickers that I have, and I'm starting to just sprinkle things around as they see fit, trying to kind of balance, you know, the pink to the white, and not like try not to have everything clustered in one place. So I think I just put loved on that orzo salad. And oh yeah, this season's routine on the snow, dreaming of springtime as I'm cleaning my windshield off again. You know, there were some really good ones in that pink sheet. I was really happy to find that in my collection. You see me rearranging some cards. I end up doing a bigger rearrange here in a few minutes, but first I am grabbing some heart puffy stickers. These are just like random ones from Amazon that I got a couple years ago. And I'm using the yellow ones and the sort of like turquoisey aqua ones. Since those colors appear in that conversation heart pattern from the top of the title card, I wanted to sort of pull that in a couple more places since it's very pink heavy otherwise. So I add some to that filler card. I add some to my big embellishment cluster. And I'm using my tweezers to try to kind of place them around and see some different spots. So yeah, I just sprinkling. This is the sprinkling part, which is always fun to me. Using up some of those embellishments, because we all know we have so many. So I'm back to that photo of my nails, and I decide to just take that word phrase sticker and sort of chop it into a few pieces to fit into that negative space that I have on the photo. So again, it just says taking care of me looks like. And I was poking around in this book again to see if I could find like this to say like taking care of me looks like this, but I couldn't, so I just left it. I wasn't too worried about it. So now here I am doing the big rearrange of cards. I don't know that I have like a good reason for why I did this. It was just kind of vibes. Sometimes you just need to fix the vibes, and that's fine. So yeah, I'm circling back to that photo of my nails, adding a few of those puffy hearts. I do use my tiny attacher on some of those puffy heart stickers. Eventually, I do also pull in these, I believe they were, not this one, the other one. These white ones, are or I think a Jen Hadfield, like Woodland Grove, or no, I can't remember what the collection was, but you get the point. So I just add a few of those because I thought it could use another color. That XOXO chipboard was an Allie Edwards. I just thought it kind of fit there and wanted to get that piece used up because I probably wouldn't use it any other point during this month, and it was from this month's kit. Just pop that on there. I do use my tiny attacher just for a little like texture. Sometimes I just get really into stapling stuff, and that was this week. I liked doing that. So yeah, now you will see me doing staples on some of those hearts. I don't do it on every single one, but I think it looks cool to staple a puffy heart or a puffy sticker. Try it. It looks cool. So now, I'm thinking I'm gonna swap those around as well. Add one more of those little white hearts. And now I am doing my one and only journaling card this week. I just had a lot of photos and ephemera, so it's just the one journaling card, but I am using a pencil and a ruler to just lightly draw on some guidelines so that I can try to write mostly straight on the card. But I am just writing on there that I had another job interview this past week. The ones I had prior were all over the phone, and this one was in real life, so it was a little bit different. So I just wanted to mention that, and also that I was actually pretty interested in the prospect of this job compared to some of the other ones that I had interviewed for. This one seemed the most promising. As of right now, I have yet to hear back, but we'll see what happens. And that's just kind of what I wrote in here. So that card is from Allie Edwards. I believe it was from like a change story kit like years ago. And it just says the story of change. I thought that kind of worked. I liked something kind of plain just because there's like obviously a ton going on in this spread. And then the one day at a time phrase sticker that I added earlier, I just thought kind of worked and helped fill in a little bit of that empty space at the top. So once I have that all written out, I use my rolling date stamp just to stamp the date that I had that interview on in that bottom section there. And that is the end of this spread. So hopefully you guys like this one. I was really happy with how it turned out. One other thing I actually wanted to mention is, you'll see here in a second, this here is a copy of the Valentine that I gave out to some of my friends and family members this year. This was actually the one I gave my mom, but she gave it back to me to put into my album for safekeeping for the future. So that's all for this one, and I'll see you guys next week with more. Bye.